Hey everyone. In this video, I wanted to go over the comprehension assignment for this week, and also go over how to access the databases so you can complete the assignment. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we will take a look. So we're in assignments. Here's the week 10 comprehension assignment. So I'm going to open the PDF. Okay, so what you're going to do here is basically practice the beginning stages of research, all right, based on what you read in the chapter. You're not going to actually be writing an essay based on what you do in this assignment, though we will be writing an essay. We're going to start working on an essay next week where you will need to do some research. But for this, essentially, I want you to choose a topic. It could be any topic. Okay. You're going to create a Microsoft Word document with an MLA heading, and then you can just put at the top week 10 comprehension assignment, and then number 1 is a topic for research. All right. And the topic should be mid-level general. So what I mean by that is space would be too broad of a topic. What happens when a meteor larger than a truck hits the moon? That would be too specific. But meteor impacts on the moon would be appropriate. Okay, so choose a topic that is not too specific, not too broad, but something that will be appropriate for research. That's what you're going to put for number 1. Number 2, make a list of at least 5 keywords for this topic that are not already contained in your answer, right? So if my research topic is meteor impacts on the moon, I can't use any of those words in my 5 keywords for the topic. For number 2, so some examples might be asteroid, crater, lunar colony, which is something that would be affected by meteor impacts on the moon, lunar surface, regolith, which is a fancy term for that would describe the surface of the moon, basically. Pages 197 to 198 review keywords and what makes a keyword effective versus ineffective. Essentially, a keyword is something that you could put into a search engine to help you find more information about your topic. Okay, so that's number 1 and number 2. Now, number 3 is where it gets a little more complicated, because number 3 is going to require that you log on to the Greenville Tech Research database. So I'm going to walk you through that. Okay, and I have the steps here, but I have the link that will get us there. So you're going to open this link, and we'll take you to this page. So you're opening Academic Search Premiers. That's the database I want you to use for this assignment. Okay, and you do have to use this database. I don't want you to go onto Google, and find sites on your own. The whole point of this assignment is for you to demonstrate and practice using the database. So I'm going to click on that database. Now, because I am doing this from off campus, I now have to log in. All right. You do not have, I assume, a library card number, so you're going to choose password option number 1, which involves using a variation of your ID number. Okay, so what you have to do is type the numbers 003991 followed by your ID number. Okay. And then once you do that, you can now log in. All right, and then you're going to get to a screen that looks like this. So from there, you're going to conduct a search based on the research topic you chose for this assignment. So if I do meteor impacts, moon, and then search. Okay. You see I've got a few articles. Now, I could try some different terms. Meteor craters, moon. Okay, so that gives me actually fewer articles, but different ones, interestingly enough. So, so this is where you can use your keywords to try to find, some different articles. So if the first thing you pull up doesn't give you anything, then use some more of your keywords. And then, you can see every time I plug in different keywords, I get different articles that come up. All right. But I'm going to go back to my original one because that's what I used for my examples and the assignment instructions. So impact. All right, so what you're going to do is choose 2 articles that you found and put them and give me the works cited entry for those articles. So to do that, what you're going to do is open the article. So you see the article here, and then over on the left, you have the cite button, and that opens this window. And now I need to scroll down to MLA. Okay. I can then copy this and paste it into a Word document. Okay. Let's see. So, so I'm basically doing number 3. So copy, paste. Now, as you can see, it doesn't look like a works cited entry because there are things that we need to do to it. So just copying and pasting it isn't enough. So I'm going to change the font, 12 point times New Roman. I'm going to double space it, which Control 2 will double space. There's also a button up here that will double space. It's this one. I had to move a window out of the way, but that button right here will double space. And then hanging indentation. Now, hanging indentation, you can use this ruler up here to fix the hanging indentation. Essentially, you would move the bottom one over first and then the top one back. Okay. And now the indentation is hanging. Or you can do it this way. I go to right click, go to paragraph, indentation, special, hanging. Okay. And it looks okay. What you should be trying to do this using one of these automated methods of changing the indentation, as opposed to, say, hitting the enter key and then the tab key to create an indentation, because that is where conversion issues happen. So where, if you convert your document or upload it to Blackboard, say you're doing this in Google Docs and then you convert it to Microsoft Word, that's where suddenly there's extra spaces or the indentation doesn't come out right. Okay, so one other thing that I need to fix here is I look it over and I notice that this doesn't look right. Okay, I've done enough works cited entries to know that usually it's last name, first name. The fact that there's the word staff in there is unusual. So if I did a quick Google search, I would realize pretty quickly that Joseph Dussault is the name of the author of this article, and that staff is simply, he's part of the staff. He's a staff writer for the Christian Science Monitor, so that's why it says staff. Now, this is what it said in the works cited generator, okay? And so your inclination might be, well, if it's in here, it must be correct. Not always true. Works cited generators are stupid. And what I mean by that is that they basically all they do is just rearrange words. So if somebody did not enter, say, a name correctly, then the works cited generator is not smart enough to figure that out and fix it. Okay, it's going to take whatever information was entered into the database, and it's just going to rearrange that information until it looks like something, that is an MLA format, right? And this is one reason why I discourage you from using citation generators on your own, because if you don't know how to enter the information correctly into the citation generator, then it's not going to give you the correct information, or it's not going to give you the correct works cited entry. So, so you want to be on the lookout for things like that. We don't put staff here. Okay, we're going to begin last name, first name. I would say 90% of the time, you're not going to have to fix anything in the citation you've gotten from EBSCO. But 10% of the time, and maybe even a little more, you will have to make a certain change like that. Some other things to look out for, if, for example, you have a name followed by an email address, okay, there should not be any email addresses in an MLA works cited entry. Take out the email address. Or if there's anything that's in all caps that's not an acronym, so sometimes the author's name will be in all caps, or the title of the article will be in all caps. That's not correct. That's something you would need to fix. Okay, so I've done that for my first source. So what I would then just do is go and find another source and do the exact same thing. I would put them in alphabetical order so that because that's what it would look like on the works cited page. And that's essentially all I want for this assignment is 1, 2, and 3. Number 1, you choose a general research topic. 2, you come up with a list of keywords. 3, you give me 2 works cited entries that are correctly formatted. And then you're done. And then now you can submit your assignment to Blackboard. One other thing I want to point out to you before we go, when you're actually doing research using this database, another helpful tab is email. Okay, so if you were actually doing research here, you can take information and copy and paste it into a document, but you could also email articles to yourself. So if you're doing research, this is probably the best way to keep tabs on your research and document your own research, is to email it to yourself. If you found something that you think you're going to use, make sure you change the citation format, and it will send you the citation in the email with the document, right? So that way, you don't want to find some sources and then say, cool, I found sources. Now I'm going to log out of the database and I'll come back later and find them again. All right, because now you're repeating steps. Okay, email, if you found sources that you want to use, email them to yourself so you don't have to go back into the database and you don't have to find them again. So helpful tip. All right, so that's it for this video. Hopefully this gives you a good overview of how to do this assignment. Make sure it's completed and submitted to Blackboard by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. You also have a discussion board due this week, so make sure you complete that as well. All right, thank you.